are the co-founders and co-creators of Safe Conversations Dialogue and are the creators also of a global social movement of teaching dialogue to the world. And we are hoping over the next 20 to 30 years to reach 2.4 billion people and teach them dialogue. And today, we're really honored to have people who are joining us in this movement and this project from Africa. And their names are Barnabas and Grace Achoki, and we want to bring them on, and so you can see this wonderful, beautiful couple in their beautiful outfits. It's just lovely to see you. Thank you for coming and being with us today. We are honored by that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Havel and Helen, for having us on this wonderful podcast.
Well, we are honored and appreciative. And so let's start with you all telling our audience about who you are, and let's see, maybe where you're from and what you do. And then once you get set up so we know who you are, tell us how you got interested in, got attracted to the Safe Conversations dialogue process. Mm-hmm. But first of all, tell us something about you.
Yeah, maybe Barnabas first, real succinctly, and then Grace.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Barnabas. I'm a marriage and relationship coach and a couple therapist. I come from Nairobi, Kenya. This is in East Africa, the eastern coast of Africa. And we have been working, I work together with Grace, and together we run an organization that helps couples strengthen their relationships and their, especially their marriage. And yeah, so basically that's who we are. That's who I am.
It's hard to say who he is because we are always together and we work together. My name is
wonderful.
Yes, my name is Grace Achoki, wife to Barnabas. We work together. I'm also a marriage and relationship coach, helping couples, helping people who are in relationships, people who want to get married, people who are already married. So that is what we do. Live in Nairobi, Kenya, Africa.
So if I'm tracking you, just a summary, you're a couple, married, and y'all do things together most of the time. And you are from Kenya, Nairobi, yes. And that you are relationship coaches, and you've been engaged in that sort of work with people for a good long period of time. Did I get that correctly?
You did. You got us. We've been engaged in this for the last over 20 years.
10 years. Great.
Over 20.
Almost 20. Almost 20 years. Okay. Well, that's a long tenure out there. So tell us how you heard about and got...
Oh, wait, could I just mirror back one thing?
Sure.
About how you all work together and, well, guess what? For the last 40 years, Harville and I have been doing that. And now we have another couple that's feeling the same way and wants to spread our work.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, we do the same thing. We are always seen together. So, and how did, so let's get to the question of Safe Conversations Dialogue. So we know that you're interested in it and have talked to you at other times about that. So could you bring us up to date on where you heard about it, how you heard about it, and how you got on board with it?
Thank you. I think, let me just backtrack and say how I got interested. Working with couples, many times we will tell them that they need to create safe spaces for each other. But I didn't know how do we create a safe space. Mm-hmm. And so during COVID in 2020, I think it was in November, somebody sent me a link of a live workshop that you, Havel, and Helen were doing. And so I, sneaked in together with Grace and another couple friend of ours, and we watched you do the workshop. And from just watching you, suddenly I realized that I had the answer, or this was something interesting that will help me find the answer of how do we create a safe space for couples, even as we help them in their relationship.
Okay. You want to mirror that back, Helen?
Well, the two of you, well, no, you learned about this and you heard about us and thought, well, boy, the two of you might do this too. Did I get that right? And
I also heard that you were really interested in knowing the need for safety in the relationship, and didn't quite know how to help them do that, and that Safe Conversations helps with that. Yeah, did I get that?
Yes, you got it. You got it, Havel. Yeah.
Thank you. So you've been now working for a while with Safe Conversations, and so I'm guessing, and having not been to Africa except briefly myself or ourselves, and only to South Africa, that there may be some cultural challenges. Have you found? Can you tell us about how have you brought this thing from the West into Africa, and what is the challenge of adapting it to your?
Although very early on, an imago therapist had asked to be trained to use dialogue in therapy offices. So Johanri.
Yes.
In South Africa.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that question. We have had a number of challenges as we bring Safe Conversations on board here in Kenya. And one of the challenges, the cultural challenges that we have had is because we know that those who are in authority talk down at those who are, just a little bit less than them. And so what has happened is the introduction of Safe Conversations has helped them to have dialogue instead of talking up, or talking down at the people. And this can be with between maybe a parent and a child, mm-hmm. or a teacher and a student, or even husband and wife. So the wife can feel that the husband is talking down at them. But with the introduction of Safe Conversations, then people have been able to dialogue instead of talking, up, down. So that is one of the challenges.
Mm-hmm. From monologue to dialogue, because people were just using monologue. I've studied this. I know what I think. You think something different. You are wrong. And the other person goes, well, no, I've studied it and I know what I think. And you are wrong. And then they argue. That's what monologue is. But with dialogue, there's a different way to talk.
And it sounds like you said that specifically, there was an inequality between, did I hear this right, men and women, and men talking down to women, and that dialogue sort of changes that to a more lateral, equal way, so that women are not talked down to or talked at in the dialogue process. Did I hear that accurately?
Yes, you did.
Yes, and it's a patriarchal society. We've been in a patriarchal society where it is male-dominated. Those things are changing now. And so the challenge isn't as much in the urban areas, but in the rural village areas, then that still persists. And so bringing dialogue there would be upsetting the status quo.
Oh, okay. So in the cities, the challenge is not that great, the inequality between, but in the rural areas, it is great. So there's a real disparity in the country itself about that, sort of like we're familiar with in America, that there's the same kind of discrepancies occur depending on what cultural or economic area people are in. So that's very interesting. And now you work in both of those areas? Are you both in the countryside and in the cities?
No, we work mainly in the city.
Mainly
Only
in the
once
city.
while we had we worked in the community, but mainly our work is in the city.
So in what ways have you seen the dialogue process contribute to conflict resolution, toward peace building or community healing locally?
Thank you, Helen. We've seen it do magic where conflict resolution
Wow.
is concerned.
Wow.
With couples, especially with couples.
So let me mirror that back, because
Yes.
I have seen this too. What I hear you saying, Barnabas, is you've seen it do magic with people.
Yes.
That yes, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they love learning it once they learn that there's another way to talk, not monologue, but dialogue, where you take turns talking and listening, and you mirror each other back.
So I missed the word magic. So you said you've seen it be magical in relating
Yes.
to people. Okay. Well, go ahead and say more about that.
Yes. Yeah, because one of the things that we, again, is a cultural thing. We don't know, or we are not taught or even learn how to resolve conflict. We are very polarized, and if there's a differences, we resolve it in very ugly ways. Either we keep quiet and don't talk about things, or we go at each other, and sometimes there can be violence between husbands and wives. And so because of that, many don't want to engage in resolving conflict. But when we introduce the dialogue, then they suddenly realize we can actually talk about this and connect even beyond our differences.
Yes.
Wow.
By the way, I remember when you're a writer, and very early on, you wrote an article on how important it is to use the dialogue process in the Nairobi Daily Press. You didn't even tell us you were writing an article. You were always wanting to market this around the continent, and so many others have joined you.
Yeah, thank you, Helen. And that was exactly 1 year ago. In fact, this Wednesday, we are celebrating the first anniversary where the Gen Z rose up against the administration. So there's also been an intergenerational.
The Gen Zs have moved up
Yes.
and said, "Listen, we're smart. We're not.
Yeah.
We're thinking. We are wise people. Also, we're young, but yeah."
And guess what? What they're asking for is dialogue. They
Wow.
want to be seen and to be heard.
Oh, wow. Grace. So they're asking, now that they've learned dialogue, hey, but you also learned to use it, or wishing other people would use dialogue with them. Great. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and it's again, it's because of the cultural context we come from, where in our culture, when the elders speak, the young people shouldn't speak. You can't have dialogue. So it's like what Grace said earlier. It's this vertical communication. So now that the younger people are wanting dialogue, it's a little bit tricky for the older generation. But we are coming in to help bridge that gap.
So the older generation, it's a little harder, but I like one thing you said that I want to especially mirror that back, that monologue is you talk down to people, but with dialogue, you mirror someone back and said, now before you talk, someone talks. And then you mirror someone back. I think I heard you just say, da, 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 da. Did I get that? And they'll go yes or no, and then say, well, and so you change it if you need to, but then, well, and is there more about that? And this is making a person feel seen, heard, and valued.
Yes.
Much better than monologue. which is shut up. I know the answer to that question, and shut up. We don't need to. We don't. You obliterate people when you monologue if you're frustrated.
Yeah. So I think I also heard you say that now, having taught safe conversation and people learning it, that people are now showing up wanting to learn. Did I hear that right? Asking to be taught dialogue, that is sort of spontaneously happening, or did I overhear that?
Yeah. No, yes, you had that. Yes, because of that, and then them seeing that just the magic, or
That's
just
the magic.
how the magic that the dialogue is bringing. This is between husbands and wives as couples, but also intergenerationally between the older and the younger people. Then they are suddenly realizing that, wow, we can actually be able to talk and listen to each other.
Wow. Wow. So I'm going to interrupt and share something when you mentioned the number of people. Now, the beginning of people using dialogue, I mean, maybe you all were doing this some, but Deborah Lindholm brought it to Liberia. And then we learned about you and the article you wrote in the People's Daily. But basically, the dialogue has spread throughout the continent. And there is a man who I only recently met. We have monthly Africa Zoom meetings, and his name is Bill CAA Sa. And he said, Helen and Harville, basically, dialogue, it's become a movement around the continent of Africa. And women's philanthropy had a movement one day where men and women weren't equal. And now women and men are equal. They do different things, but they're equally important.
Yeah. So to get that kind of response, you had to build trust. How did you do that?
Yes. That was through modeling, because people, we live in a society where people want to keep peace and not make peace. So they are afraid, say that, and so they also are afraid to trust. But when we would open up and model, the dialogue process, then you'd find that others also trust, and they would now want to open up and also model the dialogue process.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. So people were really having problems trusting in this and not sure if it was right. But when you would mirror them back, they thought, oh, well, that feels good to be mirrored back. And so they became more interested in learning about dialogue.
Yeah. So it was your being dialogical with them and also modeling the dialogue process that built the trust. That's how they saw the magic. And when they saw the magic, then that's what inspired them to want more. Am I getting that?
Yes. Harville, you're getting it, and more to that, they also said that because initially they would say that it looks awkward, but as they begin to practice it, they suddenly realize that there is such a safety that has been created, and because of that, they now begin to appreciate it and trust the process.
Yes. So could one or both of you share a story or an example of how the dialogue process transformed a family, a workplace, or a community? From what it was to it being different, where people listened to each other. Was there anything that stands out in your minds?
Yes, this was sometime last year when we had a a certain organization called Village Impact approach us to go and help them to work first primarily with their staff and then the schools that they are assisting. And
Okay, wait. Let me mirror back. What I think I heard so far, you were talking about the village impact work.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there was a woman who had done that in different countries, and then she brought that into her, wanting it to be in Africa also, village impact.
Yes. And that was really an honor and a privilege for us to work with them. And so they asked us to help the schools that they are assisting here in Kenya. And we went down to one of our counties called Nakuru, where we have internally displaced people as a result of a post-election violence that happened in 2008. So these were part of the people who were displaced during that very difficult time in Kenya. And so we went to work with one of the schools where the children go to. And we're able to work with about 300 students. These were lower primary and upper and secondary school. So we went and trained them in how to use dialogue. And this was very interesting because, especially for the lower ones, yes, there was a little challenge in language, but we used puppets to train them.
Oh, how darling.
It was so interesting, and they enjoyed it.
Oh my God.
Thoroughly enjoyed it to just mirror back using the small beady puppet, the puppets that they had made, because we took socks and put little beady eyes on the socks and then, just made the puppets. And so they were very interested in that. And you should have seen how they mirrored back each other and just learning how to dialogue. Then the following day, if you can.
Yeah, and then with the high school students, they were also able to approach their principal. Now, this is unheard of in our education system, especially in the public schools. They approached their principal and asked if it was a good time to share with her. Their first was an appreciation, and then they were able to share their frustration, which was really coming from their parents. And so the head teacher, the principal of the school, called the whole community together and were able to address the issues that the students raised as a result of that frustration dialogue.
So Barnabas, I want to share a quote of a theologian that is something that sort of gets to the essence of what you were talking about listening. But weren't you a pastor of a church?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So have you ever heard of Paul Tillich? Paul Tillich, the theologian, said, quote, "Listening is the first act of love." So when people, isn't that beautiful? And so this is why when people pause and mirror someone back and say, I think I heard you say so-and-so and so-and-so. Did I get that? And is there more about that? Where you are listening, and that's the first act of love, according to Paul Tillich.
Beautiful. So we were able to help them to get into dialogue. And we also had the teachers learn how to dialogue with the students.
Oh, great.
So remember that we come from a society where there is talk down. But in this situation, after learning to dialogue, the students were able to approach the teachers, and the teachers were also able to dialogue with the students. And so that fear was broken, and there was a safe space for them to dialogue.
Well, I just think that's wonderful, because getting dialogue into the school system means getting it into the younger generation so that when they grow up and go out of the school system into the public and take their place in the world, they will already know how to dialogue and begin to live that way. So I think that's one of the really great achievements, is to get it to the teachers and get it to them to the students now.
And we think things are going to be different because when you touch a child in school, you touch a family. And when you touch a family, you touch a village. When you touch a village, you touch a country. When you can't touch a country, you touch a continent. And then you touch the world.
Ah, wow.
So let's go through that again, because that's a lovely progression.
Yes.
So when you teach a child and to learn dialogue in a school, I'm not sure I can go through it all. We'll do that again. I think everybody ought to hear that sequence from you
From the
again.
child to
Yeah,
the parent.
from the child.
But
Go ahead.
Yes, you touch the child in the school.
Touch
Then
the
they
child.
learn how to dialogue. They will touch the
They will touch
family.
their parents.
yes, which is what
Parents
happened.
and
Which is
siblings.
what happened in Kenya at the beginning. We taught the high school students, and then they taught their parents and wrote songs
Yeah.
about it.
So they get to the parents, and then
From the parents, you touch a community or a village.
a village.
And so when you touch a village, then you've touched the nation because it spreads out. When you touch a country, then you touch a continent. And when you touch the continent, then you touch the whole world.
Wow. So that sounds like you've got that vision. That's how you're operating from that vision. That's really
it's
important.
Needed. It's needed.
Really important to touch children in school. Then that begins then to touch the family, the village, the nation, and the world. So, well, we're getting to the point where we're going to have to wrap this up, but I wanted to ask on the off-ramp for you to share what your plans are, your vision is, your possibilities are for the future of dialogue in Africa. And you may have just said it, but maybe you'll have something more specific than that as well. What do you all have in mind for your future with dialogue?
We have more Havel, and we are excited about it because just in this month we have had two communities of dialogical. We have had two communities of dialogical practice. So our vision is to build communities of dialogical practice. And last week we had two of them. Last Wednesday, two different groups of couples, and it's so exciting to see how they are catching on it. And one of the couples demonstrated with our assist as we facilitated the safe conversation. And on Friday again, we had a one with a group of couples we meet with together with many other couples, and so we are seeing this as a vision of building couple communities where they become communities of dialogical practice.
So if I'm tracking that, then if I got it, I'm really excited about what you're saying, is that what you're seeing is developing communities of dialogical practice, and that you've done that already, 2 communities with couples, and you have in mind spreading that process of creating communities of dialogical practice. This is what I'm not sure I heard, with more couples or in other ecosystems like families or businesses or churches or whatever, but wherever you can, spreading the communities of dialogical practice. Go ahead and fill in that. That's exciting.
Yes, we are beginning with the couples because that
Beginning with the couples. Okay.
Yes, and then we want to go into the churches and then into the corporate and the community as a whole.
So couples, churches, community,
Corporate.
and then communities.
Yes.
And you've got the whole continent of Africa as your target, it sounds like. So why don't you take the off-ramp and tell us what else you would like to say about anything at all about you and Safe Conversations, past, present, or future.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Since 2020, when we came when we became aware of safe conversations, it has become part of our lives. And we are always wanting to just infect the community and everybody around us, just learning how to, just listen, learning how to validate, learning how to empathize with one another, as to build stronger communities where we move from conflict to connection.
Yes, and we can also say that it has helped us in our marriage. So what we are taking out there is something that we are living. So we leave it so that we can be, we leave it so that we can be it. And so we are, it has helped us.
Let me mirror that. Let me mirror that. Living it so you can be it, or be it. Say that again. That was a wonderful sentence. I want our audience to get that.
Yeah, living it so you can be it.
We leave it so that we can be it.
You live it so you can be it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So it has helped us resolve our conflicts. And I'm just imagining that if, as a couple, we are able to resolve conflicts and we learn how to dialogue, and we also teach others and help them and train them, then we see it becomes like little fire, because this one is trained, they know how to resolve conflict using dialogue. Another one, then they teach another person, and they teach their neighbor, and so it just goes like a bushfire. So that's what we see, the explosion.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, thank you very much. This is just a thrill just to see the two of you. Your personalities are as colorful as your dress.
Yes. I have a closing comment, and then you have the closing comment. I think you all. I do not think you know. I have a son who's a theologian, and he said to me one day, "Mom, the way to live life, 3 words: faith, hope, love." He had no idea I would have a baseball cap made with those 3 words on it. And I like to wear it sort of everywhere I go. I'm marketing something that is what global humanity should be like.
So thank you again very much. And we will see you down the path.